Could DEI lead to defunding for Texas universities? It's January 12th, 2024, and these are your headlines. Hope everybody is staying warm as this cold front moves in through the weekend. We've got, of course, ERCOT warning that perhaps there could be some issues with the power grid. We'll be keeping an eye on it, of course. Hope everybody stays safe. And we start off today's headlines with an update to a story from last week. After it was reported that some Texas universities are attempting to skirt a state law which requires all public colleges and universities to dissolve any internal DEI, it stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, programs, Republican State Senator Brandon Creighton of Conroe is calling them out. Now, Senator Creighton authored Senate Bill 17, which effectively prohibits Texas universities from hiring employees to perform the duties of a DEI office and is supposed to block any promotion of policies, training, or activities designed or implemented in reference to race, color, or ethnicity. The measure also is supposed to prohibit universities from requiring ideological oath statements relating to race, equity, anti-racism, and social justice. But universities may still hire candidates based on their studies of these topics. That's what the law is supposed to do. And Senator Creighton told Texas Scorecard that if these universities fail to adhere to the new state law, the Texas Senate will be determined to consider funding clawbacks. He told our writer Emily Medeiros in a statement, now that SB 17 is a law, I'm confident that Texas public colleges and universities can return to their core mission of innovation and education. And if they do not, the Texas Senate will be resolute in enforcement of this legislation, which includes provisions for university funding clawbacks should there be violations. Despite the fact that the new law took effect on January 1st, multiple Texas universities have said they will continue the same practices under different names. Texas Scorecard reported last week on multiple universities in Texas, including the University of Texas at Dallas, University of Texas at San Antonio, and UT Austin, University of Houston downtown as well, all attempting to circumvent the law and change the names of their DEI departments in order to continue pushing leftist ideology. Another update, the Texas Supreme Court has rejected an effort to remove incumbent Justice John Devine from the Republican primary ballot. Now, Justice Devine is considered by many observers to be the court's most consistently conservative member. When he's up for re-election this year, he's being challenged by Brian Walker, who currently sits on the Fort Worth-based Second Court of Appeals. Walker's father is Scott Walker, who's a member of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. Now, in order to qualify for a place on the ballot for the Texas Supreme Court, each candidate must obtain at least 50 signatures from each of the state's 14 courts of appeals districts. The election code also states that a person may not sign the petition of more than one candidate for the same office in the same election. That was the allegation that was made as Walker alleged that Justice Devine was deficient in the El Paso Court of Appeals district and sought emergency relief from the Supreme Court to remove his name from the Republican primary ballot. Well, just yesterday, the Supreme Court rejected Walker's request for relief, stating it was not brought promptly, and even if it had been, precedent requires that under circumstances like these, the challenged candidate first be given an opportunity to cure a defect in his petition signatures. So, Justice John Devine will ultimately be on the Republican primary ballot in March.
If you're not watching the Luke Macias Show, then you are not as engaged as everybody else is in Texas who's trying to make a difference, knowing exactly what's going on so that they can take action on the things that really matter. Guys, watch us on the Roku app for Texas Scorecard. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Get engaged, get more informed, so together we can actually make a bigger difference on things that matter for the future of Texas. God bless you.
Lastly, we've got a story from Charles Blaine, who, if you haven't checked out, has started a new show here at Texas Scorecard, Texas Tomorrow. You can check it out at texasscorecard.com. But he tells an interesting story here. In his final days in office, former Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner received a taxpayer-funded gift in the form of a documentary highlighting the mayor's tenure. A 30-minute video produced by Houston TV for about $3,000 appeared on the city's website, chronicling the mayor's life from a child in Acres Homes to becoming the 62nd mayor of the fourth largest city in the country. While the amount may be trivial in the grand scheme of things, this isn't the mayor's first time using public funds to try to solidify his legacy. The mayor's final State of the City address back in September, attendees received a copy of A Winning Legacy, The Power of Vision, Collaboration, Resilience, and Transformation, a book that also detailed the mayor's path from childhood to City Hall. It later came out that Mayor Turner was pressuring Houston First Corporation, which is the city's local government corporation, serves as the convention and marketing agent, to pay the cost of production, which was $124,000. The overall event cost the corporation more than $600,000. An item later appeared on the organization's agenda to pay for the design, printing, and production of 600 copies of the book, which was the first most had heard of the entity being responsible for the cost. Much of the end of Turner's term was focused on solidifying his legacy through long-form media interviews, documentaries, the State of the City book, and another book he alluded to writing. He also made sure to use his time during council to push back against criticism of his administration that came during the mayoral race, saying that he wouldn't let anyone write his legacy but himself. Mayor Turner is now gone. He has since been replaced this month by the new mayor of Houston, John Whitmire. You can check out the biggest stories of the day at TexasScorecard.com.